What's good? Welcome to the news. Flying saucers and pugs being passed. Flying like saucers into the sky. How do we get a piece of one part of the pie to another person in the sky? Oh yeah, there is no such thing as gravity anymore. What it is that we are doing is connecting with the floor. And in an upside down sense, we are coinciding with the environments. And now, what is it that we've got properties to acknowledge? It's called cryptocurrency. It is the unique idea. It is the unique idea, and the item that is entitling people to finally be able to have control over their currency, over their monetary energy, over the ability to make manipulationable products and processes within a currency format that is monetary energy, and to be able to take that monetary energy that has been quite controlled and confined within currencies that have been predictable and dictatable by certain elements that are corresponding to certain bodies that are governed by certain governments and such things. But now it is within the power of the folks who are existing in the world, who know computers and who are able to decode and recode the fragmentations that entail certain value within itemized numerations and numberations that can coagulate with outer space and time and focusing spaces and places and churning time and energy into brandable currencies when the timing is right and the technology is good and the blockchain is proficient and there are not scammy items that connect to the processes, and things become decentralized, and there is code that is fulfilled and it is functional and it is validatable by folks who are able to keep the proficiency and the competency and the reliability on the move. Yeah. Oh, this is a currency that is allowing for a new world proficiency that entails jumping from one side of the world to another side at light speeds. It's not like anything that's been seen. Oh, what is it good for? It's so many things when it comes to governments and items that are faltering. Oh, what does this ultimately mean for the universe between you and I? That entails the brand that we are trying to work towards bringing together. It is energy based and this is currency based, and that is monetary energy. We need to transition this into more of a monetary system, monetary energy that's more relied upon and more transitionable to philanthropy energy, by also using actions and motions and movements and traveling to correspond to the monetary system and have these actions relate and correspond to philanthropy, because ultimately the nature of business all correlates and corresponds to philanthropy energy anyway. It's intending to try to solve problems after all. So when you correspond and correlate actions and timing and such things with cryptocurrency properties that allow items to be able to happen at certain times in certain ways based on programs that are proficient and align with the nature of motion and activity in the world and the pace at which it happens and unfolds, that therefore allows for such things such as games, such as global giving games to unfold, to be able to focus on philanthropy and philanthropy energy, since that is the core of business after all, is to solve problems. That is the purpose of entrepreneurship. And when there's validations in the blockchain, for example, it causes more proficiency, and also hopefully for AI to take its place and course to be able to align with humanity. Oh, it's a necessity to align things properly with the technology as it corresponds and coincides with humanity in the direction in which we're flowing, as it is, as we go, as we morph from trying to take this concept of flying saucers and pucks being passed in the air like flying saucers in a game that is ice hockey being traveling at the speed of a slap shot to also pass to a team member that is halfway across the court, that is also known as an ice rink, to be able to functionalize and also turn gravity on its head, so that also you can make a flying saucer puck analogy into reality, because gravity is no longer a thing, because we've taken gravity out of the equation because of things such as, and properties such as cryptocurrencies, because we've deprogrammed gravity and made it unallowable in this ecosystem. If you want it to be, you just change it and toggle it off in the setting. Oh yeah, and the purpose of that is for teamwork, just like in hockey teamwork, just like in 4X teamwork, just like having a team to be able to consolidate your goals and be able to score goals. It is similar in the Games for Change environment and the Change4Games environment, so that ultimately we are all chasing similar goals of helping one another to be able to make a more proficient planet, so that ultimately everybody benefits once the realization is realized that there is an ecosystem that entails optimization based on realization of practical, statistical outcome, regeneration and rejuvenation that comes from competent exposure to equations which benefit and enlighten all humanity and humans past their current state, so that all people are a necessity, and therefore each item is like a computer in the blockchain, and therefore it is all super important and all very much an asset to be able to continue to crunch numbers, to be able to push energy and data down the pipelines of humanity. That is all we see, that is all we should see, is the energy, because that makes proficiency. Once we align the science and the spirituality, that is spiritual finance and spiritual science and spiritual biology in a mathematical and economic and economy sense. Oh yeah, so in terms of the game hockey with no gravity, it's also like video games, because you can use videos as a form of games, and like the game of 4X where you're trading to try to earn a profit and turn a profit in terms of the cryptocurrency world, but not having gravity, so like playing hockey in the sky, for example, so there's not that third dimension of having a flat surface to be able to play on necessarily. It's like playing hockey in the sky, playing ice hockey in the sky, so I guess you could play ice hockey technically in the sky with a barefoot if there's not a gravity issue necessarily. Oh, maybe. But you can still wear ice skates, because that way everybody still knows that you're trying to actually play ice hockey as the core game, and that game is pretty cool, and it's meant to be played on ice because it actually influences the way that you are being able to push yourself around, and it's super keen in terms of maneuverability. Oh yeah. But we want to be able to take these energies, these crypto energies, and this flying hockey saucer passing games that's like video games, because we want to document the process and be able to use the process of documentation and validation, that is realization, to be able to use real news, not fake news, and be able to pass along the real news that happens based on real-time existence and acknowledgement of movement and motion and energy that is in motion as validators to this blockchain. After all, the validation through the motion that is validatable data based on motion that is causing philanthropy, and that is in a certain sense taking its form. It's like its own kind of form. It's like format that's like somebody's face, for example. It's like a physical fingerprint, for example. And like philanthropic energy, if something is reported on the blockchain, is happening in terms of philanthropy. It is like reported as like a face fingerprint, for example, and that is like reported in society. If there's like LiDAR over the whole world, for example, and all these energies are being tracked of all people necessarily, which is kind of crazy, but if it's potentially possible that that's happening, that this potential philanthropy energy and documentation that happens potentially through video in terms of a game like video games and hockey being passed and passing around philanthropy energy all around the world at light speed using cryptocurrency that is also validatable to be able to validate certain actions that have taken place, like in a philanthropy energy type of sense, and therefore that energy is validatable because of a certain sequence that entails world tracking and monitoring of actions that are monitoring philanthropy energy in this way, because motion is very important, and it's just like the game of hockey. You have to be able to actually move the physical person down the game Oh, to be able to score goals, yeah, and goals that are scored are giving games to where people are given things, and it's given without expectations in return. It's just giving because giving is possible. It's giving, and it's made a possibility, especially by AI. And when AI agents are in flow and in line and in sequence with the energies that we have in the world in terms of asset energies are meant to go up. You cannot build anything from a negative, so therefore it all has to come from a positive, and all things are built from positivity, and therefore our outline of structure in this avenue is based around positivity in an ongoing sense. So you must be able to align with that structure in this relative concept that is correlative and corresponds to positive energy. Oh yeah, and what this also reflects on is like derivatives in the stock market. It's like derivations of positive energy. It's like derivations of correlating, corresponding energies that are out and about in space, such as derivatives, such as quantum physics, such as quantum mechanics, such as cryptocurrency, custom sequencing. That can also come from agents that are AI driven and such things. So when you've got a positive pipeline of this energy, what you can do with it is play more hockey, and it's just like the game of 4X, but you're actually passing candles around the table. Passing the candles around just like positive candles that you're passing around, because you can manipulate the 4X game to just win every time you win. Every time, because you're using philanthropy energy. And in this game of video games, where you're playing games with videos, they are also able to correlate and correspond the powers of marketing and the powers of investing at the same time in the same game. Oh yeah. Then you're passing positive candles across the table like it is a positive game that it can only entail positivity. And your team is candle passing like cars are passing each other in races, and everybody's trying to win the most winning of a game, because you can only win in this game where it's positive news only. It's only positive news that's really allowed or is able to be processed within the sequence of this dynamic nature type of game, type of sequence, type of programming, because that's what cryptocurrency allows for, and allows for that to happen, and allows for those properties to occur, because Forex and finance, it's all a thing in this cryptocurrency land where the noblest, most interesting intentions are the ones that wins, because that's the greatest giving intercapabilities. The greatest intention with the greatest philanthropy in mind is the one that wins, because giving is the highest form of art, and art is very respected in this world. Oh yeah, and also entrepreneurship is trying to solve the problems of problems. Oh yeah, so therefore the greatest philanthropy will solve the greatest problems, and therefore cause the greatest weight and the greatest volume for the greatest demand, and cause the greatest happiness. Oh yeah, so right now we are in the paper money trading phase. We're trading on paper. We're playing and planting. We're playing and planting trees and using old trees by writing on trees, by making paper trades and doing the math, and then we're making farms and formats and derivations and percolations, and doing math and perpetual equations that are launched against the current market energies to send markets and energy and AI agents and sales and derivatives into the right direction, leaning towards global philanthropy energy. Quantitative, qualitative methodologies, quantum mechanics, black hole energy generators, yeah, are all now in paper trading mode. In the current time now, status configuring methodologies using paper derivatives and paper trading now, and science and biology and something called self-realization, fellowship, spirituality type of mindset to cross science and spirituality, and then therefore spiritual finance and the DINKY tech and Change4Games studio, world, realm, environment, atmosphere in alignment. Oh yeah, thanks again. Alright, have a good one. DINKY tech. Bye, peace. Bye.